I just wanted to share some food. Like little kids, you could watch them. They don't want to share. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's my food. It's my toy. There's a law about this specifically. Leave a little bit of food left over and give it to the Creator, what's His. Don't eat it all for yourself. We could read the Messiah says, give to Caesar what's his. Nothing's really his. This is some more mockery, but it is in a deception, an evil way. It is his, just not literally his. It's just the Father gives all things, even kings to be kings. Give Caesar what's his, and to the Father what's his. How do you give anything to the Father? We do it all with our heart. Can't throw food in heaven right now. How do we do that? Can't give 10% to Melchizedek on earth. Where is he? So literally above in heaven, teaching spiritually above. Spiritual. I think I need to make a title because it's how important it is on spiritual wickedness in high places. That the high places is the heart, and it applies to everyone. Now to say it's about worldly powers and things isn't, there's some right words there, but to make that the meaning is to hide what it really means. It's connected in that the people that do evil, the governments and peoples and places are made up of people, and that's how it's connected. But the spiritual wickedness in high places is in the heavenly places, and earth is lower beneath carnal things of this world, carnal. So wherever your treasure is, there your heart is also. The gold that we buy and not to sell in Proverbs is from above in heaven, and the gold on earth points to that higher thing. So to literally worship and love gold is a problem, because that's not the real thing. In fact, it's a trap. What it means is true, but to love the thing itself is a trap because it's carnal. That's just like the temple. To love the temple and build temples and buildings. What it means is true. To love, the Father in the temple. But they build buildings. How do you build yourself? It always meant that the Father's in his temples, his people. They shall be with him, and he will be their Elohim. When is that true? It's already true. It was true as types. It became true, is true. Messiah forward, the new covenant, and it is to come. Something lacking still. How do you show what's heavenly, given by heaven as types with Israel? Moses goes on a mountain. He goes up higher, representing that, but it's actually on the earth. That's why the apostle says something about he who spoke like of the earth, and it was a big deal. Earthquakes, scary voice, and everything that happened, punishments, judgments. How much greater than now he who is speaking from heaven, not connected to the earth with a mountain, but the real thing, Messiah in heaven. And everything, all the meaning is spiritual, even though he's in heaven above. It means something spiritually to be above. How does someone understand heavenly thing if they don't understand earthly things? Messiah says. Heavenly wickedness, spiritual. Everything heavenly is spiritual. It's things of spirit, the heart, your mind. So then spiritual wickedness in high places is not literal sins, carnal wickedness in low places. Literal murder is not spiritual wickedness in high places. It's carnal wickedness on low places. But the murder in the heart is spiritual wickedness in high places. And it applies to everyone. No wonder someone would want to teach as the truth that it's a government or system over there. Anything but self is spiritually wicked. There's more deceivers out there than anyone can imagine. I can't even comprehend it yet. That come in his name. He said they would. Maybe that's actually literal at the end, where it's actually a perfect evil. They don't just say God anymore, but there's many deceivers at the end who call him by his name, Yah or Yahuwah, using the name and not just saying God and Lord, even exposing that. Many come in his name. And they deceive people, and their goal is to deceive people. They've been sent by the devil, their father, to teach lies, teach something that sounds like it might be true, so to bury the lie and have nothing to do with self continually. Now, spiritual wickedness in high places is not cities and governments and powerful things. That's not the meaning. Says who? The Father says this. That's where the authority comes from. And nothing will contradict it in his word. If someone tries to, they'll be exposed. They have some answers to, they have some questions to answer. What is Messiah talking about? If you don't understand earthly things, how will you understand heavenly? And they got some answering to do. They'll run. They'll run if they're a liar. It applies to everyone. The spiritual wickedness that we're fighting, the spiritual war, from Messiah forward, this thing became a reality. The spiritual judgments to be perceived and seen, to do good works, all spiritual from the heart. It was never done before like that, only as cutting off of the flesh, circumcision, which man can do with a knife. He can't circumcise his heart. That would require death. The natural picture fits what it's teaching spiritually. The Father gives the meaning, and then the picture was right all along. You just put it right next to it and make the two one. And that's the right teaching. To circumcise the heart requires death. No one can do that without killing themselves. He who destroys his soul shall be finding life. But a man can circumcise the flesh. Therefore, circumcising the flesh represents keeping all the commandments according to the letter, only the outward, and what it looks like, what the manifestation of spiritual wickedness looks like, is cutting off the flesh commandments written with letters. Real murder looks like someone stabbing someone. Stealing in the heart looks like going up to something or someone and robbing from them, literally. Cutting off the flesh, the skin, only is to stop stealing physically only. Nothing to do with the heart and cutting the heart and circumcising the heart. Messiah, the Father and Messiah have to do this. This death, the circumcising of the heart, must come from him. Man can't do it. He can only circumcise the flesh, literally. Therefore, he can keep all the commandments and laws, literally, as it's written. He can do that and still be spiritually wicked in high places because they're doing earthly things. This is how commandments are used to deceive people and trap people, and all of Israel was that. That's why he destroyed it in 70 AD, officially. Is this to teach not to keep his commandments? No. You could see maybe where all the confusion lies and the wickedness lies. Because this, whatever truth is, that's what they don't understand. In the church world, they're the harlot, spiritual fornication with the Father, the Messiah. They know not what they do. Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. It's all about the Creator and his power and what he's doing. And he's got good plan and intention for everyone. Good news for everyone. Bad news for most people right now, though. Cutting off the skin. This is everything. Anything that's true is everything. If this isn't being understood at some point, there's no understanding that flesh can do flesh things like cut off the flesh, but no one in the flesh, like we read, can please him. Even if they do that, it won't work. They have to die to self, deny themselves. A lion can't do that. A lion roars and defends itself till the bitter end. It has to be killed by someone else. It's not going to kill itself. It's not going to kill itself if it's getting cornered. It's going to do everything it can to stay alive. Just like a serpent. It's going to bite, it's going to defend, it's going to poison to stay alive. Spiritually, his word goes out, and people will do spiritual wickedness and murder in high places to stay alive. But we're not talking about physically staying alive now. That's the natural. That was true. But now it is true, spiritual, and it is to come. All his truth, all his way is to come. This isn't to say that there's something wrong with something natural, like it's a sin all by itself. No, it's just to say that keeping certain things, especially his commandments, naturally cannot please the Father. They won't have any reward. They'll be in delusion. Because that's the only true way. Therefore, a false way is not rewarded, it's punished. Someone has to deny themselves and that they can't kill themselves. They can't circumcise the heart. It's the last thing anyone would do. Got guns and bullets waiting. If the apocalypse comes, I'm ready to shoot people with shotguns. The last thing I do is going to lay my life down, you know. It's even manifested naturally. But we're talking spiritually. Lay your life down. He has to kill us. He gives us a deadly wound. The many called, this deadly wound is healed. The few chosen, he calls them to come out of her, my people. It's a command. They will obey. Whoever his people are, they will obey. They'll come out, learn and grow, and do this for the right reason, and not to be a Judas that looks called out. Because Satan needs Judases to look like the real thing to try and deceive the elect and anybody that's near the door, you know. The devil is guarding and suppressing the truth with unrighteousness. So now, because that's the real thing, there also has to be Judases that look like the real thing. They're set up and planted by the devil, their father, to go and do that, and they obey and do it. It's that simple. They don't know what they do. They do it anyways. Someone like to say his word is a lie. Don't do this. His word is currently talking about it. Can't be carnal saints, spiritual Jews, spiritual Israel, spiritual wickedness, spiritual righteousness, you know, in high places. This is the spiritual war. Is anybody getting sick of that word? I know a carnal man can't stand it. You know why he says we talk about fantasies and imaginations, and what's the specific word I've been receiving more than once by different people? What's that word? When you give them anything that's true, they'll say it to defend themselves because they don't actually know. They have to protect their image and who and what they are, the beast, the devil, protect their father at all costs, protect your life. Selfish, not wanting to lay down. I'm trying to think of the word now. See, that's what happens when we think. It doesn't work. It's just got to be given in spirit. The word means like, you know, there's no reality to it or whatever. It's invisible to them. That's why they use that word. For some reason, it's not coming to mind right now. I don't know why it's not. kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't like doing that anyways. It's like trying to think. Someone trying to think and thinking is not speaking in spirit, speaking carnally with their carnal mind. Be transformed into the mind of our Messiah to actually know him and not just believe we're believers because we use and say his name, because they come in his name. The false prophets, they do that. They plenty do that. Plenty of people out here in this world that come in his name. Plenty of them. False prophets and carnal. And anybody that's carnal is an enemy of the Creator and all his people. And viciously hate them with a murderous heart, which looks like stabbing, stabbing, stabbing. It's one that has to protect the image of the beast looking good. They're restrained a little bit by the Father in the delusion, because what they want to do is actually murder you for real. If they could, if they were just allowed, they would do it and thought they could get away with it. Because the murder's already real in the heart. Real murder is ready to kill for real. It would like to do that. It's restrained a little bit. He who restrains. We read about he who restrains. That's why it's not going to be looking good at the end for his people or this world either. Mostly for his people, though. I don't see it. Revelation teaches it. How much longer will they shed his blood continually? Wait a little while longer. The dead saints speaking there. You know, that's not literal. Dead saints don't literally speak. Someone has to see what this means, given by the Father. Hey, this is what this means. The dead saints represent all those in Messiah, having the same spirit, waiting for the same judgment and promises, are saying, how much longer? A little while longer, till the rest of your brethren are killed in like manner. Is the Father talking about them being destroyed, killed by the devil, stripped of their eternal life? I thought he doesn't cast out his people till the rest of them are killed in like manner, meaning that's the saints that were killed also. Well, you can be spiritually killed and still live by the wicked, but while still alive. This is a sheep being torn at, killed all the day long, like the apostle says, and still live. So yeah, they do the murdering and killing with the heart. That's the main thing. Understanding. But I'm getting something, though, that at the very end, it just might be literally killing them, most of them, or a lot of them. Because that's what the devil does, seeks out to kill and destroy, specifically his people, anything that's good, anything that has the Father in them. He's seeking, searching, just like the Father searching all things. The devil is searching for the saints, searching for you. Uncle Sam's looking. Just like the Father sees everything and sees all peoples and judges righteously, there's eyes everywhere. The devil's eye, the eye of Horus, is looking to seek, kill, and destroy the saints, to find them, to separate them, weed them out, because the devil's going to come up with the devices that weed out only the saints so that they can be killed. And if the days are not shortened, none of them would survive. That doesn't sound too good. It's already true, though. That prophecy is not of its own interpretation. What I'm sharing and what I've been given is whatever we read in Scripture. for prophecy. All his word is prophecy. All of it. To prophesy is to not do with some literal prophecy, carnal understanding, although that's part of it, prophecy. Can't take that away. So what I'm saying is what we read, whatever we read, literally, is prophecy, Can't take that away. When it says that the earth is burned up and few men left, that's prophecy. How can someone say it's not? It's like saying it's to destroy everything else if they could only see it, that we read, that drunkenness is bad, sin, this is what it causes. But because we see the spiritual meaning now, that's not true. See the problem right away. No, the literal drunkenness is right, what we read with the letters. It's just not the understanding that we're looking for. But that still is right. It's the lower thing. It's for children. It should be a given already. That's sin in the flesh. But it's connected because if you do that, you have to break the higher thing first. Getting wasted, it's obvious. You have to be spiritually wasted. It's already obvious, but not being wasted doesn't prove they're not spiritually wasted. What it does prove is when someone does these lower earthly things, is that they're breaking the heavenly things. It's a given. That's what it proves. So it could be used as a discernment for us. It's a guide to Messiah, and Messiah needs to give us what it all means. Because man can read the letters and see it. Tricked his own understanding. Yeah, but the real understanding can't be got by man or understood by man. Lean not on your own understanding. Prophecy is not of self, your own, my own interpretation, but given by the Father, like we read there, to the set apart men, people, his people. He gives the meaning. No scripture is of its own interpretation. It must be given. Does the church world have that understanding? How? When they're living examples every day of them writing books and figuring out what it means from studying all day long. They got some other secret meaning in the heart when they read it's not of their own interpretation. They got another definition that's false. It literally means it's not from self. It cannot come self. It never did come from self, ever. The interpretation of the understanding and prophecy must be given by the Father. And then it will be right, and compare the other scriptures that it's given on the meaning of that prophecy. So there's like the natural, and then there's the spiritual. And the spiritual thing is prophecy that's true right now and always was true, always will be true. It's always working. Natural is not always true at all times, literally. Because the earth is not burned up right now with few men left, literally now. But it's prophecy. We can't undo what we read there, prophecy. But spiritually, it's always true. The earth is burned up. The wicked are consumed in Gehenna fire, and few men be left. Many called, few chosen. Why does that fit together so perfectly? Because it's true. It's always been true. But that's prophecy, though, what we read literally there. Someone can't say we read this and understand it as it's read. Say it's not true, it's a lie. Never going to happen. That's why I'm saying what I believe fully I've been given is it's going to be manifested at the end. The beast, the false prophet, the God of this world. It'll be proven, like even literally, naturally somehow. So that all could see very clearly that it was always true someday. And if it did it at the end, it always was doing it. Because nobody's any different. Carnal man doesn't agree with any of that. He thinks he's different than the last generation, better or something. And he's the same, if anything worse, because it waxes worse and worse. They find ways to make it worse and worse with technology to increase the sin more than it was capable of increasing before. Knowledge shall increase. Knowledge of the Creator by his people. And I suppose it might also be meaning literal, worldly, carnal kind of knowledge. And they shall be going to and fro, back and forth. It's manifesting that the world has no rest. As everything is getting faster and faster, I keep getting this from him in my mind, that it's speeding up until it blows up. The faster it gets, the more impatient people are. They're 100 times more impatient than 500 years ago, even though they were impatient 500 years ago. Anybody that's wicked has no patience, doesn't know what it means. But it's worse. It's manifesting. It's going to manifest all the way until the anti-Messiah comes and everyone worships him except the saints. Why would someone think this is crazy and unbelievable? That's not what it means by itself. It's always true. So they can't do that with his word. They can't say because we say that prophecy will come that we're also saying it's not true now. No, they're both true. It's already true. The whole world's already marveling and wondering after the beast right this minute. Why would it be such a surprise if it was manifested, literally? That is what prophecy is. Messiah will not come until that person in Daniel is destroyed without any power from earth, but directly destroyed by the breath of his coming. The real anti-Messiah will destroy. The real Messiah destroys the anti-Messiah. That's the picture of what he did for all his people within us. Of course, the world wouldn't want to believe this. That has to do with destroying evil, destroying their anti-Messiah. They don't want that destroyed. Maybe they're still the man of sin and they're masquerading. Maybe they're not of Messiah. They're teaching that this is not true and will never happen. This is what all these preterists do too. Building houses, congregations of the wicked, and spreading abomination. Just like my father said they would. Perfect prophecy that it would grow until it waxes so bad, worse and worse. It's worse at the end than it ever was. Literally, even manifested. Faster and faster and faster. Look where we are now. I mean, it's at the end. Communication, faster. 5G, what is it now? 4G? 5G. Faster. Would someone believe any of us for saying that the devil's seeking out to search and destroy, to try to make this world one in the eye of Horus, the devil? Seeing everything. He's got to see everything. He's got to find out who the righteous are so he can slay them. That might make someone look forward to Messiah's coming and salvation, because this is wicked. This is a desperately wicked world. That's what the heart is, so the world is desperately wicked. The devils won't agree with any of this or believe it. They're the ones seeking to devour anything that's good and true. They murder the Father first, not us first. But nevertheless, anybody that's of the Father, they got something coming every month, every week, every day, just increasing. They're coming out for you. They always did. For those that are actually devils, it doesn't apply to them, Just because someone says words, it doesn't mean they're his people. It doesn't apply, literally. There's no reality to it. Devil can't chase another devil the same way he does Messiah's people. It's not happening. For doing good, for truth. It's like instead of becoming desperately wicked, which we were, it's like desperately to do what's right and freely give. no one's going to believe it. I'm glad that I'm glad that destruction isn't the end. Man, if it would be, we would be most pitied people on the earth then, because there would just be no reality to anything after a few days pass by and the grass withers and it's over. But it's waxing. I was wondering this before, is it actually getting worse? But it's louder and clearer to me now. It is. This world is worse than it was 500 years ago. It's getting faster and faster. At the end, it will have been perfectly wicked. Whatever wickedness is, it will be manifested, even on the outside, perfectly evil, inside and out. Where the world is an example of having no rest. Look at it. Look how it's speeding up, and patience is, it was already bad. It's decreasing. It's getting crazier and crazier. 5G, what are they going to do with that? Good? Seek out to destroy the elect. That's what they're doing. They don't want to tell you that. They're going to wake up, everyone. ABC News, we're out there to kill everyone and destroy anyone that's Messiah's people. And we'll destroy devils too, because we always did that, to destroy them. Or if we don't like them and get in war with them, we kill everyone. Who cares? I get the money at the end. I'll kill my 3 buddies that helped me steal, kill, and then destroy them. And then that person is destroyed afterwards as a judgment, either suicide or he's ran on by the Father somehow. Judas destroys himself. It's like a pig running off to destruction. It must destroy itself. If it's done great evil, it can't stop, because that's the Father's judgment, fear. That's why that happens. They're not going to put on the news and say this is what happens. They're going to explain it with natural diseases and words and stupid games they play. Never give any truth or gospel. No. In fact, what do they do? Well, join us or burn in hell forever. Yeah, that's some serious damage to someone that needs help. Desperately wicked. Talking about destruction for all eternity to try to help someone with destruction, it's not going to work. If they get converted, they'll be just like the person that converted them, even more prideful and self-righteous than they already were. As it waxes worse and worse individually, as each one gets harder and harder in their life, always was true. And then the world, as a prophecy, waxes worse and worse and gets colder and colder and harder and harder. Cameras everywhere. I can't believe how blind I was. The destruction is like becoming more and more evident. It scares myself. I never thought that or believed that, and it didn't cross my mind. Someone in destruction is like someone that's like screaming and raging lunatic on the street. That's it. That's the understanding. Oh no, it's everyone that doesn't know the Father. They don't want him. They don't want what's good for them. They want destruction for a reward. It's a good thing the Father forces everyone to go through judgment. And I'm not using that to like that he does evil, but just to get the point out. Like it's gonna happen with good intentions to destroy everything that's wicked and change them, because they won't do it themselves. He says, I looked around and there is no shepherd. All over the earth I'm searching. There's no shepherd. They're all lost. Everyone, literally. Isaiah somewhere. So I'll stretch out my own right hand and do it myself. Damn it. Because there's nobody in this world that's the Father set apart, and everyone in this world is wicked apart from him. I can't believe what they don't believe. So many easy to understand simple scriptures to confound their lives, where he gives a lot of easy to understand scripture that they, if you give truth and then quote it, they've never heard that before. Now they're reading it and seeing that they don't actually believe it. They'll write murder instantly in the heart. They're not my friends. Thought they were. time ago. It has to be whatever I read. There's enmity in Genesis between the serpent seed and the woman's seed. It's real. It's not a joke. That word's not there in vain. That's why we even read. It's like everything that comes to my mind, he shows me that there's something I can read about. Like it's been on my mind that people are acting as if scriptures are in vain when we read something. We could even read the apostle saying it then. Is this scripture in vain? Is this scripture in vain? He's saying it's true right now, Don't do as the rebellion did and the earth swallowed them up. Nothing changed. It's just that his people need to be spiritual. Everything's the same. The enmity between the two are there still, but manifested naturally first with Moses going up on a mountain, which represents going higher, but you can only go so high. The mountain's still connected to the earth. And now Messiah in heaven, Father commanding in heaven now, a little different than before, a little more power, a bigger deal, spiritual things. If it shook the earth, then it's going to shake the heavens too. Well, it's happening within. I wonder what the end holds, though. Wonder what the end holds. They seem to know destruction's coming, just based on how much products are being produced that has destruction for the world. But when we actually speak or say anything with someone that knows of those things, they don't actually believe it, though. It's the strangest thing, but they'll act like it's true. Cry in the theater and then talk about real things and actual judgments now and to come that exist. They don't believe it. They don't believe it. The works prove it. The instant hatred proves it. Prophecy. Well, there's a lot of false prophets, and false prophets lie and don't hear from him. They come in his name, though. There's going to be a lot of those at the end. What is the end hold for coming in his name? It's going to be the best deception ever. It's going to people using his right name even, and coming in his actual proper name and not just saying God anymore, because it has to be perfectly, desperately wicked at the end and fit that prophecy. Perfectly evil. Whatever evil is, here it is. It's always been done. This is perfectly evil at the end. More deceiving, worse than any other time before. No one's talking about the heart. Where is it? And all the evil things it does. What are they doing? Anything start talking about something real, not only is it hated right away, it's like boring, What were they doing all along? They should ask themselves that. Why were they doing what they were doing? If his truth is boring and it's hated, what are you doing? It's a little confusion there, I could see it's through deception. So there is no actual carnal blame allowed. But it's what's happening anyways, though, nevertheless. They know not what they really do. It's all for the experience of evil for his people. To show everything, to show, look, I reward people in different stages. And there's evil. He judges people, and there's worse evil than others, but still evil. In all the different layers, he has to show it. And then there's a real deceptive thing that many call. And he has to show that too. That looks like the real thing. And just so on it goes. Nasty world. But more than ever now, I'm seeing these cameras everywhere, and people have them on their houses too. Doorbell camera. It's the eye of Horus, the devil, God of this world, is watching and searching the false way. Trying to be like the creator, but he's searching for the righteous to kill him, instead of the Father searching all people and judging all of them and seeing the wickedness in everyone. The devil can't do that. He has to do a lie, steal, kill, and destroy. When he searches, it's for destruction, because he can't do what the Father does. And no man can do apart from him what someone can do with Messiah in us. Can't do it. The thing he does is with foul intentions to steal, kill, and destroy anything that's good. I think I got in order again. Rigobertos. I'm getting like an aching sense that, I don't know, it's almost like knowing too much. But I don't know what that means yet. It's not a delusion. They're coming after Messiah's people constantly. It's already true. I've seen the strangest, craziest things where even miles away, never seeing someone, it could be thousands of miles, and they do things on purpose. No one would ever believe me unless someone's experiencing it. They think it's because of you. No, it's not. It's because they hate the Father that much. It's the devil. There's an enemy. He tells people what to do. That's the only explanation of how someone knows how to do evil, to just try to mess with you. But it's worse, closer. It's like that legion. I know you. You know, Messiah tells him to be quiet. When he tells Peter, I can see, someone else needs to perceive. He's not talking to Peter only, because there's a lot deeper going on. It's not about us only. It's not just that. He's saying, Satan, get away from me. But Peter did it. Yeah, because he listened to his father, the devil. Little mistake there, right? But Peter would need to be converted. When you're converted, was he talking to Peter himself? Peter the man, you're Satan, the devil. Well, yes, if someone's obeying the devil, they're one with him, doing his work. So you could say he's a devil. And you could say he's not, in a way. But yeah, people are, because of the devil doing his work. Just like becoming one with the Father. It's not about, see how crazy it is if we go to the other side. The Father is in someone, therefore that person is what? The creator. It's not about that person only. No, it's the Father in him. That's why he does the works. No other reason. So the same with the enemy. It's a lot deeper. They're not really, it sounds like the world says the right word sometimes, but I'm not seeing actual belief or vision or sight. When we really start talking about this for like real, with real belief, all the people that look like they might believe it run. Strangest thing. It was just an act. It's the conclusion for some reason, just a confusing, deceiving act. They're coming to get us. What's this world doing? Everything is from the perspective of truth from the Father, not this world. Getting out of this world. Everything this world is doing is not because it loves mankind. The devil came only to steal, kill, and destroy. That's all he could do. He's the God of this world. This world wants to kill and steal and destroy the Father's people like they always wanted to. And that's why Herod is desperately wicked, killing all the 2-year-old babies. It's always been true. And everything in between, you'll never hear of his people in history. That's what I'm saying. This is strange that this exists already. Like me doing this, it's strange that it exists. Really, really strange to me. It's becoming more strange to me. This is the devil's world. What's going on here? But I know no one can stop the Father if he determines something, and maybe a few people needed to hear something, and he made it to be so it doesn't go away. I'm shocked that it's not gone, because out of comments deleted, tons of comments deleted. But how come they don't delete this channel? At least not yet. But People will do everything as if, oh no, my works, got to save it all. It's all mine. Nothing changed if it deleted, like for me. It shouldn't for anyone else either. Because the Father's supposed to be with them and tell them what to do. But there's a right way of doing everything and there's a wrong way of doing everything, Well, maybe the only way for his people to communicate for the most part is like this. Maybe it's that bad at the end. That's not forsaking the body, because I don't know anyone around me. I would be honest and say there's no one that hasn't done evil and attacked. And if they get close for a while, I know it's coming, and it does. That's why I don't believe it when they say they love and want love. They just saw that. They just saw that. They just saw the Father's love, and they don't accept it. They murder it. Everything is about looks. So if you sound a little angry, if you sound like this, that's who you are. False judgment, just that's their judgment instantly. But they're not obeying judge with righteous judgment. Well, darkness won't obey that. It's going to judge the light as darkness every time. To those that are impure, all things are impure. The darkness is impure. Literally it is. They call it good. And then the good is impure. But specifically the good that's impure, all things are impure. There's no set apart, there's no dividing, there's no division between good and evil. It's just all things are impure. It's all one giant pot of evil. It's like a witch brewing up some witchcraft stew. Don't know what the devil's brewing up next. Ultimately the creator. But the devil is doing this evil. He wants to destroy Job, but he can't take his life. Without understanding the real meaning of that, there's a lot of damage that's done for anything that's not understood or not true. Because we're not talking about his literal life. That's not the meaning. But as a teaching, as a picture, as a natural thing for us to be given to see. He can't take away the eternal life someone has from the Father. The devil can't just do that, destroy the Father first. Our life is the Father on the side. You'd have to destroy it first to destroy us. Like that. But Job's flesh is destroyed through the destruction of the flesh, and it's painful. And family members close by, what do? They're dead to him. What do his so-called friends do? Only thing they can do. And what's his woman do? No better. How many friends he's got? That's how many friends Messiah had. They all do this. They're doing it everywhere. They get some kind of easy path, something. They don't know what's going on at all in the church world. They're not perceiving anything. There's no authority in them at all. His word's not any kind of authority, nor is it understood. They're not wanting that. They want the light gate. I know why, but I can still say that without doing a lie. They want it. It's true. Some kind of joke. Turn the other cheek. It's a joke. Suffering? No, lots of money and blessed. They're tricked so badly. Not seeing anything yet what they need to see. When carnal man does this, act like he's exposing something. He does it for a different reason. It's literally just look good, to make self look like it's right. Because the devil knows it has to expose something in order to look like light. Can't never do that. And then there's a real way of doing it. The only intention is because it is actually evil. And that's the only intention, because it is and we hate it. That's it. The wicked do this to make themselves look good and make others look evil. That's their intention. The two look the same, totally different hearts, you know. I will never believe anyone that's a Messiah, so he has to prove to me and everyone else that his people are hidden. They're hidden in this world and not seen. Pray for what can't be done, to be seen and loved by people that can't be done for his actual people. If it's happening for real, it's more than all the evidence someone needs. You know, that's what they want. Popular, loved by everyone. That's what can't happen. As long as the Father is in them, they'll never back down. Why would they? He would have to let them go. Have some kind of confidence. They won't shrink back for good. But you gotta take that seriously, though. As people do. Obviously, darkness doesn't take that seriously. It's not even light yet. How could it take it seriously? That's what they want. Whatever is true is what's despised the most. So then this is true, that no prophecy ever came from man and never was understood by man, ever. Talking spiritual things, real things. That's going to be despised by man the most. Someone actually believes that and understands that. They read it, they got something else going on of our own interpretation. If it's man's interpretation, it's only a couple seconds, few minutes maybe. Well, it doesn't even take that long. It's going to be exposed and it's going to have thousands of contradictions everywhere because they don't handle his work with any care. They don't care about the contradictions. They won't even have to say they're not contradicting. And they'll do that about things that are so obviously contradicting that it's something like this. The sun is bright and hot, and it's also cold and dark. And they'll defend that and say, no, it's not a contradiction, and it's literally that bad. Because it's desperate. It cannot give up its religion. It cannot believe or accept that it's been deceived utterly, you know, in any way, shape, or form, let alone a ton of deception. That breaks coming out of Egypt. It breaks everything. There is no truth in them. Coming out of Egypt means you're already deceived. It breaks Adam and Eve, that everyone is Adam and Eve first, carnal, and got deceived. Is that really perceived and believed in the heart by religion for themselves? After a while, you would think it would never happen, but he makes it happen. I'm glad to admit something that we were wrong in or something, you know, or some evil we did or whatever. Okay, screw it up. It's wrong because of the rewards for it. That's why, and because it's good. But in the other direction, in darkness, it's fears ever admitting anything that's wrong or confused or delusional. I see something when I see the apostle as an example, such a perfect example of the light blinding him. Messiah in heaven now. Last, he was seen last of all. What do they think he's saying? Literally, Messiah in the flesh? He's no longer Messiah in the flesh. Where is he right now on earth? So he was seen by Messiah in heaven. But that kind of claim gets a little crazy without carnal literal proof. See, that's what carnal man can't believe. You hear voices, you need meds. This world's sick. It needs healing, but it's going to put that on anyone of the truth because it needs healing. It needs to put that on you so it doesn't look like that's what it is. And their works prove it too. They never could admit such a thing. That's why they hate if someone were to just freely admit how blind and delusional they were and really say it with belief, you just did what they're running from their whole life. They saw works and proof of being blind and delusional first, and that's true for self, and self is seeing that and believing that. It won't, this is no good, this is no good, can't see that, doesn't accept it, no, hates it, hates it, hates it. Can't be anything that proves the Father is the creator, and that he's above everyone. You know, just like a child hates to see proof that the parents are above it. It seems like the words are getting harder and harder lately. More and more people are just going to run. I know that has to happen. The crazy thing is, so much confidence in his power is that darkness has to run. It will run without saying anything so often. It says a little something, you question it back, it runs and it's gone. Never comes back. It never did anything that was right. It left a bunch of things on the table, wide open, easy to see that it's a lying false prophet. And it left it there, didn't finish, didn't put it in order, and ran away and never comes back. And then it still thinks it's of the truth. It just ran from it with all the evidence in the world. But the blind people that were led by these blind people, they don't see that evidence either. They don't want to, even though they see it for a second. They're blinded. The word and seed is taken from them. It's gone. And go watch and do and see that they just keep doing the exact same little crafty delusional ditch. Delusion, teaching, especially crafted. They're specializing in some kind of teaching. And they get stuck there because the carnal man doesn't learn anything at all, period, let alone learning new things. So it will look like a ditch. It never changes. It just sits there after running away. Then all the evidence in the world it sees, it will do things and say things to counter what it received. It's in defense all the time, defending the beast itself, and try to get the sheep to please. I mean, I'm telling you who the carnal people are. They're the ones that hate that keep the laws and commandments. I'm telling you, they're desperately wicked to keep their sheep because they only want to use them like a whore is used. They don't care about them. They really don't with the heart. It doesn't care because the devil can't care for real. It's a stone. When someone sees this care, they get afraid and they hate it. They just in disbelief that someone actually cares, and this maybe is the worst thing of all, is watching that and knowing it just has to be like that. And there's nothing you can do if that's what's determined to be done. Because everyone else does it. They can't believe when they actually saw real care. Can't believe it. And hopefully they do. Hopefully they get woken up. But have to see that so many times. No, it's not us. We're not attacking you like they're doing. Man, come to the Father, come to his way, because it destroys evil in the carnal man. But it will be perceived like we're trying to destroy them. It's for their own good, with no intention to actually kill, steal, and destroy. They run to the prophets that have intentions to kill, steal, and destroy. They make them feel good on the outside, look good on the outside, smooth words that they want to hear. So they're not killing them, but they're doing it secretly in the heart, spiritual. And the way it has to be for his people, wide open in the daylight. Here, well, you don't like it, it's killing you. I'm doing it with good intentions so they can have life and understanding. But they look bad in this world, They look evil, therefore they are. It's really nice to start getting out of this slavery. It's like, no more protecting self and self things. And if I do, it needs to be destroyed. It's not even mine. because everything's given, even to the wicked. It's not even theirs, but they think it is. Delusion. You know, everybody's, when they make a comment on YouTube, who are they talking about? The dead guy? You can't hear them. They're just doing it to get a bunch of likes. It's all nasty out there. Can't eat this unclean food, you know. Just the way it is. They're going to perceive that as wicked for obeying the Father and not eating their stuff and being one with it. That's murder to them, when there was no such murder in the heart. And if there is, you know, we repent and got to be changed. There's no such murder intention. Because the Spirit, his actual people, the Spirit is always willing, always doing what's right. It's a false accusation when they say that's what you did on purpose. That's what you want to do, just like we do. That, you know, it's all about self, everything. It's so hardcore. I don't even know how much, if it's only 5% of what I need to see, I don't know. The more I see, the more obvious it gets. It was just as blind as not seeing everyone's death. Well, the more he wakes you up and gives you light, the more you see what his word is saying about this death. But when we're dead, we're dead. Dead people don't see anything or perceive anything. Why is that so perfectly true spiritually? I could look back and see it's true. Because our Father's not a liar, and he doesn't trick and play games with us. If we read something simple, it's not a trick. Messiah came in the flesh and of the flesh, not a trick. Seed of David, not a trick. The devil's a trickster. Don't they know it's not just for Messiah to be glorified and have a name above the angels? Wicked. You know? Yeah, you can't give truth without being prideful and wicked. It's not just for Messiah. Didn't they ever read the prophecies in Job and other places? My goodness, yes, it is a Messiah as the head first and above, but it's also for all those after him too. Everything that's true is rejected in the church world. You know, the works are actually evil. That's what I'm trying to get across. It's not just the teaching. That's like only the beginning of someone seeing something. Like, oh, they're wicked because they teach this. Oh, it's way worse. You just wait and see. Father's not fake. It's not just words. They're not bad because they're words only. It's part of it. False doctrine is part of it. Well, it gets a lot worse. I guess that's all I could say right now. I gotta go. It's gonna get worse for everyone that's actually in Messiah. It's like the picture of the spiritual tribulation is like a woman's pregnancy. It's in there for a reason. And it's prophecy for the world. It gets worse too. Until the very end. The devil's watching, looking, seeking to destroy his people specifically. Although they'll gladly destroy anyone else they need to. It's confused, you know, specifically. The devil must hate the Father and his people more than anything else, more than any other people that are deceived right now. And just a reminder, it's not about selfish. So he says it's not you that he hates first, that they hate first. They hate my Father first. That's why they hate you. Don't get confused. Oh, and by the way, you didn't choose me. Because the dead, you know, don't rise from the grave of their own power and choose things and choose good. You know, look at them. They're dead. They don't choose good. They don't choose life. They're in death. So the mercy and favor needs to be given, and this is a great abomination to all the earth. This is why everyone has the mark of the beast, save the few. She's got abomination written on her forehead, but all the Father's things, she says, is abomination. That's how bad the works are. That's how much it hates the Creator. And everyone did in the delusion. think people in Messiah now, I think maybe one thing they might have in common is at some point before they actually believe, they can look back and maybe really see they were being led up to it, just like the disciples were. Before they received the Spirit, they were led up to it. But the devil, being the nasty devil, is going to send prophets and people that look like that thing to confuse and muddy up everything so that nobody believes, because they don't want that to be true. All right, I gotta go. Peace, take care, seek truth from the Father above.